Hi all, I thought I'd have a look at Wesley So in the World Cup being held. He's not only beaten EventDate, who seems really kind of downhearted at the moment, as though he's going to give up chess. He cited losing to So, and also the Blitz, he didn't do very well, and he felt it was a bad sign for his chess. Wesley So seems to have stirred up some controversy on chessgames.com as well. He's a 16-year-old with a rating of 2640, and he's caused another sensation by beating Kamsky. So let's have a look at this game. He was black, so this is on the 27th of November, just yesterday. I'll stick the engine on just in case. So French defence, and he plays knight f6, trying to encourage white to close the position, which he does. And so Kamsky is very, very dangerous. 2-6-9-5, definitely super GM. So Queen b6, a3, and Wesley said in an interview he spends like 5 to 6 hours every day looking at opponents' games, looking for weaknesses, trusting that they do make mistakes. It was interesting, the interview. It's on Chess Space. So he obviously found something in the repertoire here to give black something maybe here against Kamsky's system. So knight a4, queen a5 check. Black is now attacking that knight. So white plays c3, defending the knight, but black voluntarily gives up the dark square bishop to take on d4 again, and now play the move b6. So none of the that gambit I often play in this line, but white had played a3 anyway. So this is something which I think I need to know for my repertoire. So b6, so bishop e2, bishop a6, still trying to get rid of white's light square bishop, trying to weaken these light squares, maybe later try and support something on c4. So bishop d1, Kamsky avoids that light square bishop exchange, but queen b5 now, b4. Looks a bit loose thing, as though backward pawn on c file, but Kamsky usually plays moves with great precision for the requirements of the positions. So so here knight b2, maybe his idea is it's not a big deal, this c file at the moment. Queen c6, it means that the bishop can now go to c4, I guess. Rook c1, black just castles though for the moment. a4, so trying to push the bishop back, threatening immediately to default bishop and queen. So Wesley plays bishop c4. So he's definitely using that c4 square, regardless of the light square bishop exchange. And now white, very directly goes in for the chain attack with a later f5, trying to put more pressure on e6. Wesley now grabs the a pawn, believe it or not. He goes for the a pawn with bishop b3. White really doesn't want to play b5 here, because then the c5 square, part of white's strategy is to really clamp black down. So Kamsky just sacks that a pawn and goes in for his pawn chain attack with f5. Now we see bishop b5 attacking the rook. The rook moves. Still there's a lot of pressure on black's position, so black just humbly defends e6 for the moment. Rook e3, as though the rook's going to come in for a kill, with f6, maybe rook h3, rook g3. It's all very dangerous. So here f6 is played, putting immediate pressure on that e5 pawn. If takes maybe e5, yeah, that's what Ribka's saying. I'm just reading the notes to that. White played f takes e, and in fact black is apparently a bit better, but look at this. White's still got attacking prospects with the ability to switch the rook in, so it's dangerous. So bishop f5 eyeing h7. Now g6, bishop h3, queen d6. So what's the point of queen d6? This is another subtle little move, as though it's almost tempting the move c4. I'm not really that sure. It's given as one of the strongest moves by Ribka. Maybe the idea is just to hold up e5, just to make sure there isn't an exchange sack on e5. So rook d1, rook c d8, protecting d5. Rook d2, now queen e7. So this vacates d6, so this pawn can be potentially rounded up. Rook f2, now knight c6, but there's another idea that black has to play d4. So I think he's liberating his position. He's got great play in the position now, despite this advanced pawn. It's not really doing that much. So rook e4, black took on c3, now rook f8, because the queen was attacking f6. And white lashes out with g4. This seems to be weakening the white king a bit, so I don't know if Kamsky's getting irritated. Rook d6, and now bishop g2. And now this knight e5 is a very nice aesthetic move. The pawn's going to get swallowed up. So black is apparently nearly 2 pawns up now, according to Rybka. So g5, black took, and white's getting munched, basically. So rook takes f6, queen f6. There's nothing here for white, it seems. And now the king safety factor's coming in. After this, the bishops are going to get exchanged off. Then the white king, is getting quite weak. Black's advantage is growing, and there's all sorts of nasties now, like knight e3. It's all a bit weak for white here. And this is Kamsky, a 26.95. Getting done in. So knight e3 check. King moves. Knight f5. Queen d5. It is dangerous, so the king is going to step in actually now to f7 to protect that rook. But white is under real pressure. Check. Check. Check again. Hitting the knight this time. Check again. Check again, and now the move king g7, so maybe the king can come to h6 if rook c7. So here actually white has had enough. There's the big threat now of rook e2 check. So let's see, for example, rook c2, there's king h6, yep, and there's nothing for white. And if white tries to defend, I think there's queen d1 or something, this family fork, or actually just rook d6 is given by Rybka. That's a bit of a slicing skewer to win the knight on d1. So what a game! What a nice way to play the French. Odd. So a3. Just this is an interesting system to bear in mind for black. Just even if you can't get the light square bishops off, it seems there's a weakness for white here. This a pawn. Just winning the a pawn, and it seems to have now black's really getting a great position. That pawn on e6 was rounded up, and then the white king became a bit weak, and then there was nothing for white. White was getting done in after this seemingly simple king g7. Comments or questions on YouTube about this super GM killer Wesley So, who's only just 16. Thanks very much.